Inspector Kevin Taylor is head of the NYPD School Safety Division, responsible for the nearly 1 million students in city classrooms. Welcome to The Point. I'm wondering to ask you this question. Our school has just started, and one of the things the chancellor is worried about is the possibility of a school bus strike. And what he said the other day was he was worried that if there is a strike and students have to take public transportation, they may carry weapons and they may try to bring more weapons into school. I wonder if you have the similar concern.
Well, it's always challenging in the beginning of school and throughout the school year, kids bringing weapons in for safety reasons. And we want to reassure these kids at the end of the day that they're safe. Coming to school, we have enough police officers and school safety agents along the corridors for them to go from to and from school. We make sure kids are safe. Our schools are safe, our kids going to school safe. So tell our kids, leave the weapons at home. Leave that job to us.
But you know, a lot of kids, when they have to take public transportation, they worry. A lot of people worry when they take public transportation. So I wonder if it's a special concern if so many students are going to be asked not to take the bus and to take public transportation, and will they have a worry that would have them bring something to protect themselves?
We have our counterparts in the Transit Bureau, police officers that are going to be assigned out there along those corridors, our own school safety agents and police officers. We have a new team in place called the Youth Response Team. It's a mixture of agents and police officers. Excellent. They actually go out there and make sure that these kids are safe.
So the other thing I've noticed is that, you know, last year there was a pilot program to install new safety measures in schools so that shooters can't get in, strangers can't get in, etc. How's that pilot program working out? Excellent.
I mean, I would definitely say it's a hard decision that the chancellor had to make by locking those doors. Hard decision, but a great decision. Because we have to lock the doors. Those doors save lives. Make no mistake about it, Marcia. We had to lock those doors. The times have changed. I mean, we don't want terror to stop and knocking on our door.
But you're not exactly, I mean, you're locking the doors, but people can come in. I did a story about it where they go and they have to give their name. They can be seen on camera, and the school safety officer can make a decision whether to let them in or not. So parents can totally get into schools.
Yes, we definitely want to make sure our parents have access to their children. Everyone wants to know that their children are safe. That's the #1 priority. But at the having the agent take a pause, look, see who's at the door, let them present their ID, and then okay, they proceed to come in. But we're definitely not stopping anyone in that sense of.
But so this is another measure that, you know, the mayor has you know, embraced technology.
Yes, he has.
And this is another measure of embracing technology and making it work for the safety of students.
Yes, I mean, we're so on board with this. This is probably the best communication we've had in years with the Board of Education, Department of Education, and the NYPD, communicating through our precinct commanders as well as myself in the School Safety Division, and having the chancellor having that open communication with his personnel, principals and all.
So was it a hard decision to decide to lock the front doors of schools?
I think New York wasn't ready for us to say, okay, we're going to lock those doors. But looking around the country, I think everyone knows that says, okay, if we had any second thoughts about it, this is the right time to do it.
So you recently went to Parkland and took a tour of a school that had been the subject of a shooter. What was that like for you? What were your emotions as you went to the school and saw a school that had been under attack?
Marcia, I was invited by the parents, the Sheriff's Department, Broward County Sheriff's Department, and I toured that school, MSD High School, and walking through those doors, you can see the doors weren't locked. The shooter was able to walk in and terrorize those kids. I mean, Marcia, the blood was still on the floor. The chairs are all moved to the right or to the left.
Wow.
Where the kids were trying to get away from the shooter. No one should have to go to something like that. And we will do anything in the New York City Police Department to make sure and to prevent something like that and bring those technologies and things like that back here.
So by going there, did that change your concept of your job and make you have a more sensitivity to what you want to do now as the head of school safety?
Yes, it just made us say, listening to parents here and over there, knowing what's at stake, everyone wants to leave and drop their kids off with no worries. My job, which keeps me up at night, is to make sure that I deliver on that.
What keeps you up at night?
Something similar to that happening, anything like that, tragedy coming knocking at our door, and are we ready? And the answer is yes, we are ready.
So do you do special training for teachers as well and principals in terms of how you would deal with a shooter that might come into the school?
Well, it's funny you said it. Throughout the summer of last year, we put all our school safety agents and participants from the DOE, great response from them as well. A great partnership with the DOE, the Chancellor, as well as his personnel to help us out with that.
So what kind of training do you give them?
Active shooter training. Anything that's available to us, we offer it back to the DOE. Because what we know, we want the teachers to know, as well as the principals.
So should schools have silent panic alarms?
Yes. The answer is yes. Do we have some panic alarms here? I'm not going to give you all the tricks and trades, because obviously some of the things that we want to keep a little secrets on our side to keep the bad guys not knowing what we're doing.
So is there any way that you should establish a phone line, a tip line, so that kids who are worried about things in school could contact you, or teachers could contact you, or they're worried about bullying, or they're worried about committing suicide, or there's drugs in the school, or anything? Is there a way for them to contact you and get help for themselves?
Yes. We're going to be launching, I know the police commissioner gave a little tease there on Friday in regards to this tip line that's coming out soon, real soon. That's where it's a 360. It's a 360 way of communicating, and that's going to be through phone, through an app, through text, all anonymous. The police department embraced this. We're ready to roll it out. We're excited about it. This is one of the things that truly is going to change the game in New York City.
So you're going to have a line, a phone line, where students will know it, yes, or teachers, yes, and they can call and get help.
Yes. Truly a game changer. They're able to pick up that phone. They're able to text, hey, in real time, and tell us what's going on. They're the true people that are going to let us know. School safety is not just NYPD. It's everyone's job. And I tell everyone to say, okay, the kids, keep your school safe. Help us keep your school safe.
Do you think the kids are going to embrace it?
Oh, 100%. I know they're going to embrace this. Help keep your school safe. You're owning it. That's your school. You want to make sure you're safe.
I've always wondered, do we have enough school safety officers?
We can always use more. We can always use more, Marcia. Training and what we do with recruitment is always going to be key for us. We're always recruiting. We're always looking out for more people to join our team.
Is it harder to get people to want to be school safety agents?
It's challenging sometimes, but who sells it best? Our agents. We have the best agents in the world. We have the best agents. It takes a real challenge to have someone say, okay, oh my God, I want to work with kids. Some of us don't even want to be with our kids for 2-3 hours, and here they are, 8 hours a day there, and then some with these kids, and they watch these kids grow up. It takes an excellent talent to have something like that, and I salute all my people that come to work every day to do this job.
Inspector Kevin Taylor, thank you so much for being on The Point. We're going to have to leave it right there for now, but we'll be right back.